Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com. In this video, we're going to talk about the bioprint. Now, the bioprint is something that I learned from Charles Poliquin and was certified by him in 2016. Since his passing in 2018, I haven't seen this being used very often, but I'm here to tell you that it works really well, and we're going to dive into it today for you guys on YouTube and a more detailed video for you guys on Patreon. So let's watch. So the bioprint is a tool that we utilize here at the facility that I learned from Charles over in Prague in 2016. It is a 14-site skin fold test that not only measures body fat, which is what most people are mostly concerned with, it also measures lean mass. Now, why lean mass is important is because lean mass should be how we set up our diet, meaning that the tissue that we have that is bone, muscle, ligaments, tendons, etc., organs, are the things that we need to keep fed, and we also need to keep healthy and also need to feed while we're training. The body fat or the adipose tissue on the body are the things that we want to avoid and mostly reduce in probably 99% of the population. Without knowing a lean mass number, we can't get a caloric value of what they should be eating on a daily basis. So, with that being said, calories are super important. There is some truth to calories in, calories out. Now, what we do on the bioprint setup is we have 3 different variations of caloric recommendations that we give to the client. For most, they want to lose as much body fat as possible. They're not necessarily always concerned with a performance outcome. This is going to be at the 15 calories per pound of lean mass number. So take your lean mass number, you can get a bioprint, or you can get a DEXA scan, and that'll tell you your lean mass number, and that number you take times 15. So we'll find out on David today, one of my clients, what that number will be, and we will tell you that number. I would at least take off your shirt and probably your shorts. And just shoot him from the top up.
Yeah.
I don't want to show anybody he's got a baby dick, you know what I mean?
I'm free balling right now, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're free balling to squat?
Oh, yeah. I've been free balling since 2008.
What's wrong with this shit? All right.
I don't have balls.
So we need to discuss this. So David's going to measure in, and we want to get down as close as we can to him being completely naked, because anything that's beyond his normal body is going to come up as a body fat regimen. He likes to go commando when we train, which seems a little bit vicarious to me. But point being is he has still got shorts on, so we have to calibrate that a little bit. So I'm going to take off about 0.2 pounds for his socks and his shorts. So what do we weigh? Okay. So he's in pounds. Now, go ahead and keep all this off because we have to measure you anyway. What's your height? Are you like 5'8", 5'9"?
Like 5'10", 5'11", by size.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful because people lie about their height, right? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to be 6'2". He's probably about 5'9". So let's go 68. Now we start the process of the measuring. So now we're gonna get all of these measurements down, and we're gonna figure out where he lies in this situation with lean mass and body fat, which is most people's primary concern, but we really want to see the alarm codes that we just talked about. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get calipers out, and we're going to make sure they're zeroed. So as we can see, we're right at the 0 point. A lot of times you can get knocked off just a little bit. We want to make sure they're calibrated and perfect. Now, this is going to measure, as you can see, it's going to measure his skin folds. And we're going to do this in 14 different areas to get an idea or a snapshot of what's going on with his body. So I truly believe that where you store your body fat is a key indicator for all of these hormones and all these different alarms. And again, unless you do this all the time and watch people's blood work and watch people's DEXA scans, you truly don't understand how accurate this really is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure face inflammation, which is going to be under the chin and right here. So we usually don't see people that have this much muscle mass if they got a chin hanging down like 4 inches, right? I call it the McDonald's or the Walmart chin. So we're going to pinch here. He's going to keep his head down while I do it. This is what everybody does. You go to the chin and then raise their head. You want to make sure their head is neutral. Then we are going to grab this way with our first finger and thumb, and then we're going to pinch right behind our fingers. So as we can see here, we're at 7.6. So 7.6 for the chin. So now we're going to put that in the machine, 7.6. Now, the next one is the cheek. This one's one finger past the lip. It's a pinch this way, at that angle here. Then we're going to be at flat, and he is 7.7. Okay, so now we got the chin and the cheek. That's just facial inflammation. The next one is the pec. 2 fingers away from the armpit, and we're going to pinch in this angle here. So we're going to grab, and we are at 3.2. The next one is the bicep. 3 fingers down from the armpit, right in the middle. You're going to make sure that they're relaxed. Pinch and wiggle away. Make sure you don't have any muscle mass. He is 4.6. The next one is going to be the tricep. So what we're going to do is he's going to flex his tricep as hard as he can. We're going to go right between the medial and lateral head, and he's going to relax it again. And then I'm going to pinch and wiggle it away to make sure I don't have any of that muscle mass on there. Hold, 9.2. The next one, and this one is a direct just body fat measurement, but it's also heart health. So how much body fat you're holding right here is a key indicator of your vascular health. So we're going to pinch here. You want this number as much as you can under 15. He is 8.4. So you're not going to die probably tomorrow. That's good. Sweet. So now we're going to be careful how far we pull his pants down because he's fucking going commando like a douche. So we want to go right here, and you pinch this way, hold this way. He is 11.3. Okay, the next one, which is a tricky measurement, this is the mid auxiliary. So it's about a fist down from the armpit. The ribs are going this way, and that's the exact same way we're going to pinch. Notice it's right in line with his armpit, right there. Hold sideways, and he is 13.4. The next one is a suprailiac. So you're going to have him keep his arm up high. You're going to look for that bone, the hip bone, which is right there, here. Don't be afraid to pinch decently hard. So he's at 15.5. That's a really good measurement at that area. The last one we're going to do standing is the umbilical. So he's going to turn this way. We're going to go 2 fingers in from his belly button. Grab here, pinch this way. And he is at 17.2. So that's a body fat measurement as well. Now these other measurements are going to come from him laying on the bench. So he's going to lay flat on his back with his head down this way. Now notice that every measurement that I'm taking is on the right side of the body, and that is just to keep conformity. So the knee and the calf, these 2 areas here, are how well you sleep. How Charles figured that out, I have no idea, but it is dead accurate. So we are going to pinch here. He is at 3.3. Calf, 2 fingers down from the kneecap, find the bone and pinch right beside on the medial side of the bone. So that one scored a little high, so that's 12.3. You'll see high scores on that with people in the fire department and the Marines and police, because a lot of them deal with more higher stress deals on their job and their overall lifestyle than the average person. Now the quadricep is a measurement that is trying to measure the estrogen. So if you hold a lot of fat in your quad, and the last measurement we're going to do, it tends to mean that your estrogens are pretty high. So how you find that measurement is you take your pinky, put it on the top of the kneecap, your other pinky, and right at the base of the hip, take your 2 thumbs out, and that's right where you measure, right here. So you pinch in a vertical sense, come this way, and he is 11.5. So as you can see, Dave's pretty lean, so he's not throwing any crazy numbers. Where this gets difficult a lot of times is when you're dealing with people that are over 25-30% body fat, because they're so big that it's hard to make sure you're pinching correctly. So really when somebody's this lean, pinching's pretty easy because you can just separate the skin from the muscle. But when somebody gets really obese or fat, that's been so pressurized that you have to pinch actually harder. So the last measurement we're going to do is going to flip over on his stomach. This is measurement 14. This is the hamstring. The hamstring measurement is going to come right where the glute and the hamstring meet. So it's up pretty high. And then we're going to pinch again in a vertical sense if he was standing up. And he is at 15.9. So once we got that measurement, now we have all of the ones that we need. We're going to save it. It's going to compute itself. It's going to pop me up numbers. So Dave is 18.8% body fat, and he's 156.9 lean mass. So why do we need these numbers? Well, these numbers are pretty easy to understand, or why you need them is the 156.9 is what we're going to base all of our calories off of. The body fat percentage is usually an indicator of a couple of things that will go on Patreon, but body fat's not nearly as important as lean mass because David wants to feed the furnace, but not the body fat. And that means that 156.9 is going to be the baseline for everything that we want to tell him to as far as eating and protein is concerned.
All right, pop shots.
You go ahead and get dressed.
Now, can anyone, what about this tool right here? You kind of go into it a little bit, but can anyone just buy these tool, that tool right there?
Yeah, you can totally buy that, but how do you know how to use it?
Exactly, right?
All right. Those are not cheap. That's probably $600.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah. Now you know why I have to charge to do it.
For real.
So Charles made you buy your calipers. That was like, at that time, was like $450. Mm-hmm. And then the class was $10,000. So what I'm showing you guys on Patreon and a little bit on YouTube is stuff that cost me thousands of dollars and a plane ticket to Prague to learn. Not only that, with hotel and all that stuff, it was way more than 10 grand.
Yeah.
So now that we have an idea of these numbers, the next thing that we need to do is we need to start calculating calories. What we found out through that measurement is that David is 156.9 pounds of lean mass. What we need to do is we need to find out what calories that David needs to achieve. So David's goal is to be stronger, but we also don't want to weigh 242 because you weigh what, 180?
192.
Okay, 192. So we want to keep him probably in the 198 pound weight class. So we can't just gain weight. So that means we have an upper echelon of caloric intake that we can take in. So for David to be super strong but not gain a ton of size, we want to go at 17. So David's 156.9 times 17 calories is going to equal.
Okay.
Oh yeah. How'd you get your phone out?
I had a notepad.
Oh yeah.
I was just writing.
So I'm actually getting my PhD in special education, which is awesome.
It's 2,667.3.
So this is about the limit of what David can take in and not really put on any body fat and just sustain and slightly gain muscle tissue and strength. He goes above 2,667 calories, it's going to be a problem. To give you an example, for me, when I was weighing 295 doing this with 237 pounds of lean mass, I'd eat 4,600 calories a day. So my point being to you guys that are listening to this, especially on YouTube and even on Patreon, why do you want to put on muscle if your goal is to lose body weight? We just answered that question right here. If you have more muscle, you can eat more calories and you burn shit faster. That's why you see pictures online of people that look bloated and kind of fat, and then 12 weeks later they look super lean. They already got the hard part down, because if you look at the pictures really close, as long as they're not doctored by CGI, they already have the muscle. So if they already have the muscle, they can still eat within reason a decent amount of calories. They're still going to lose body fat.